We are late into the season, right? Playoff adjacent, end of game situations, bench decorum, all of the things. We're looking at it today. Let's get started. How many plays are we going to look at? We're going to look at 5. Stick around. Greetings. Welcome back to 5 Play Friday, the show where we look at all of the things so we can get better. Let's get started right away. A You Make the Call play. A lot of things going on here. A lot of confusion for coaches on plays like this. Let's take a look at play number 1. All right, the ball clearly off of the backboard, contacted by a defender. Is this a legal play by rule? Is this goaltending? Is this basket interference? Is the no call correct? Was there illegal contact on the play? What is your ruling on this play? Put your ruling in the comments below and stick around to the end of the video because you know we're going to break down all of the things later on in the video. And with that, let's move on directly to play number 2.
Sierra Canyon been averaging 70 points a game this season. Here's Bronny. Bronny on a breakaway. Oh, through the legs! Throws it down!
All right, a spectacular dunk. Bench decorum becomes in question, but thank you, first of all, for joining us today for 5 Play Friday. I'm Greg Austin with The Better Official. We try to craft video to help basketball officials get better so they can take control of their officiating career. So on this play, right, we have a spectacular dunk by a player who is destined to play in the NBA, maybe has a very famous father. Right? It's a celebratory moment. It's spectacular. The gym goes crazy, etc. But it becomes a question of bench decorum and what is acceptable on this play. Do we want to be the party poopers and say, hey, we're going to penalize some action here in a game that's clearly decided, 25-point margin? Do we, is the losing team going to respond negatively to this situation? But is this acceptable behavior by the bench? If we notice the bench explodes with energy, the players are celebrating. It's super exciting. It's fantastic. We love it in our game. But we have action by an adult on the bench of running along. Is he the hype man, right? Running along the end line. And we see that his behavior causes team members to follow him on the end line as well. Like, that's okay. Right? To me, this is not okay, and it needs to be addressed. At a minimum, it needs to be addressed. This is unacceptable behavior. It comes at a moment in the game that is celebratory, and we love celebratory plays. We love spectacular dunks, and this is obviously very high on the ranking of spectacular dunks. Between the legs, throw it down. It's a moment of celebration in the gym. But to me, this is unacceptable behavior by an adult, and it's easy in this situation for us to simply assess a bench technical. We can go on the team, right, for the action of multiple team member or bench personnel, or we can simply go at the adult and put it on them. In either case, there would be an indirect on the head coach. They would lose their privilege to stand and coach their team. But in this situation, I definitely feel it needs to be addressed, and the proper way to address it would be with a technical foul. That's just me. I think that the bench decorum is important. We will see other plays today that potentially comes into play. But we need to be aware of these situations. Again, the pressure of the celebratory moment is upon us. But to me, a technical foul on that adult would be the appropriate ruling on this play. All right, from a bench decorum play, now we've got something we don't see every day, and we have a ruling. Let's look at play number 3. All right, throw-in situation. Center official rules a violation on this play. The ball contacts the padding at the base of the backboard, bounces straight down. Our center official makes the ruling of some sort of violation. Right there, we're sort of at a loss for signals about how we would rule this violation. Is this the correct adjudication of this play? That's question number 1. And if you had something different, let's say as the trail official, and you wanted to fix this situation, what would be the variables involved in that discussion? Right? So we have a situation on the play where the ball is inbounded. It contacts the bottom. Player goes up, clearly arm contact, release. Then comes the whistle from the center official ruling the violation. Did the official's whistle cause the ball to become dead in this situation? These are all the things. I'm a little unsure about this play scenario, right? So the ball, when a ball contacts the back of the backboard, it is out of bounds by rule. If it contacts the bottom of the backboard, it is inbounds. Obviously, the sides of the backboard, the top of the backboard, and the front of the backboard are all in bounds. To me, this is an erroneous ruling on this play. You could fight for some logic about the edge, hitting the edge, which is part of the back, but I don't think that's the spirit and intent of the rule. So we've got an incorrect ruling. Is this fixable, though? If one of the partners comes in and says, that's a legal play, which I'd be inclined to do here, what then happens regarding the try for goal and the possible foul? I don't even know how we would adjudicate that play if we came in with that information. So that's what's so intriguing about this play to me. I think in the end, if we're going to fix it, we've got to say, I don't even know. I don't know if we can go back in time here. An easy solution would be to say that we're just going to go back to the throw-in spot, inadvertent whistle. What would you do? How do you think we could get our way out of this situation? Put your ruling in the comments below. How you would, if you came in with information, how you would extricate yourself from that situation. What are we going to rule on this play? The whistle came after the release of the try and the arm contact. Would the goal count? Would we have a foul after the fact? How would we adjudicate this play? It's a play that stymies me, right? And it's great to find these situations because, again, right, we take our application of play scenarios. Again, what we like to do is think, okay, this occurs in this game. Maybe it's in the middle of the second period. It's not a big deal. But what if this play occurs in an end of game situation with 2.5 seconds remaining and the score tied? How are we going to adjudicate the play, right? the what appears to be clearly an erroneous ruling here, opening the window for, but what about the release of the try and the illegal contact that occurred? Really a stymieing situation. I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. If you do, put it in the comments below. Is there any way to score this goal by rule in our show supporters who help fuel the broadcast? David Kaiser, Randy Wilson, Jeff Pappas, Chuck Ratliff, and Warren Layton. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show? I will put a link down in the show notes, and you know I'm going to put one up above, as I always do. Wow. Well, with that, let's move on to another fine kettle of fish. Let's look at play number 4.
44%. But they took away what had been Virginia's advantage, making a few key threes. 6 of their own to Virginia's 7 now. And equalizing that has made a difference.
All right, lots going on this play. We've got multiple fouls. We've got players who are flailing, throwing their heads back, trying to fool the ref. Obviously, 2 players who do not like each other. And we've got habits and fundamentals by the calling official. This play is rich with all of the things. How are we going to adjudicate this play by rule? What can we take away from the calling official in this instance? This is obviously a collegiate game. They have the opportunity to go to the monitor to resolve this. We would not have this in our game at the high school level, the ability to do that. We have to make a ruling on the play, on its merits. Let's take a look at, as we like to say, all of the things, right? We've got screening action. We've got a player on the floor who grabs the screener's leg. We have a retaliatory action by the screener, a kick. How are we going to adjudicate those fouls in this situation? And what are the behaviors of the players? What are the habits and fundamentals of the calling official, which are really, really exemplary in this situation, right? We've got the explosion that occurs in front of them, and then the ball is going away, right? Would we go with the ball, or are we going to stay with the action that this situation is providing? Our calling official stays with that action and sees the kick. I'm sure they had a perception of, I don't know, would they have a perception of the holding the 2 legs together? Would the center official be able to come in and provide information in this situation? If we have one action, what's the ruling on the player who grabs the leg with their legs? What kind of foul is that? Is that a common foul, intentional foul, flagrant foul, right? The resulting retaliatory action, is that a common foul, an intentional foul, or a flagrant foul, or something more, right? So great stuff on this play. Here's what I have on this play. First of all, right, if we look at the screening action, is there anything about this screen that is illegal? No. This is a legal screen. We have a player who sees the screen, runs into the screen, and then throws her head back. Was the throw of the head back related to the contact? No. The screener then throws her head back. Was the throw of her head related to the contact? No. We've got 2 players who are attempting to fool the ref in this situation. Our player on the ground grabs the leg, right? That is a foul. What kind of foul is it? The retaliatory kick. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. What kind of foul is that? How can we piece this together as a crew? Okay? In my judgment, this grabbing of the player's foot by the legs is an intentional foul by rule. This action, the retaliatory action of kicking, is a flagrant foul for fighting by rule. It's flagrant. It's a fighting action. Fighting is described as forcibly kicking, elbowing, punching, etc. To me, it arises to that level. How would we adjudicate this play? This is going to be hard, man. To me, I'm going to come out of this. We have a foul that is a double foul. We have an intentional and we have a flagrant for fighting. That was the ruling in this situation. They had the chance to go to the monitor and look at all the things. If we came together with a crew as a crew and identified the action by the player on the floor and the subsequent kicking action, that would be our ruling. How would we come out of this play? One player would be disqualified by rule. There would be offset. We've got team control by White. White throw in nearest where the ball was on this play. Lots going on here. What a key takeaway is that when that energy rose on the court and the situation occurred on the floor, our official stayed with that and did not stay with the basketball, therefore allowing them to see the kick. Obviously, at other levels where monitors are available, the discipline of doing that is lessened because they can always go back and go to the monitor and they have that available to them, and we do not as high school officials. But a great play to learn from, and one that would, hopefully, we could put it together as a crew and get things right. Man, that's quite a play. Quite a play indeed. All right, that was a great play scenario. We see the events unfold. The key takeaway for me is that the calling official saw the subsequent action, saw the kick, was not, stayed with that action on the floor, which is super critical that we do in that situation. This is a situation we're potentially going to need to come together as a crew and piece together what has occurred on this play using information from all of the officials, come up with a ruling, go present that ruling, and then move forward with the game. But a great play scenario to look at. Let's look at play number 5. All right, it's that play from Wisconsin. You know that one where the announcer famously berated the crowd for getting into or having negative comments after a call, no call at the end of the game. while as basketball officials, we appreciate a chance to retaliate against the negative energy we perceive, to me, that's not what this play is all about. To me, I want to say, how are we going to adjudicate this play? To me, this is an end-of-game scenario that we have to get right? And it's critical that we do, so we are looking at all of the things on this play. The questions we ask, did this foul occur before the horn? Was this a 2-point or a 3-point goal by rule? Can we come together and adjudicate the play? We have an assistant coach who comes to the spot of the foul. Does that rise to the level of a technical foul? In addition, we have bench personnel from both teams come onto the court. Does that rise to the level of a technical foul in this situation? End of game situation, the horn sounds. Some would think the game is over, come onto the court, etc. So let's look at all of the things. First of all, I apologize on the live stream for the absence of sound. Sound is critical to this play. I'm going to be able to fix it in post, but I apologize. So what we have is a situation where throw-in is deemed to be not touched, right? 7.7, our home team is down by 1. Player drives, kicks, last second try, obvious foul, center rules a foul. Did the foul occur before the horn? Then we have an assistant coach who comes on. Are they there because of disagreement about the call? Are they arguing that, or did they just come on? It's unclear from here. We've got other team members come onto the bench personnel come off onto the floor. Let's look at all of the things. The ruling here is that it was not touched. The official keeps their hand up. That's all well and good. We cannot see from the angle that we have. Player drives to the basket. Do I like the lead's positioning on this play? No, I do not. I wish they were wider. They have to anticipate that secondary defender here, right here. We are looking in the well, as I like to say. We've got the ball kicked out. At this point, there is 0.2 remaining. Foul occurs. It's ruled to have occurred prior to the horn. Center official has that. Was this a 2 or a 3? Does the center official know? The resulting action by our assistant coach, directed to leave the floor. What do we have on this play scenario? So the ruling in the game was that the player was fouled. They put 0.2 back on the clock. Are we authorized to put time back on the clock in this situation? That's another critical component of this play. They assessed a bench technical foul on the assistant coach for coming onto the floor. That makes me assume, I'm making an assumption that they had comments when they came onto the floor that made that rise. Otherwise, would we not assess technical fouls for to the benches for additional bench personnel coming on? They awarded 2 free throws for the shooting foul, not 3. Let's look at that. They awarded 2 technical foul free throws with 0.2 on the clock and the lane cleared. All 4 free throws were missed, and on the resulting throw-in, the game ended. So, quite a scenario. Let's take a look. Is this a 2 or a 3 by rule? This player has 1 foot in the 2 2-point area. They then lift that foot and jump off 1 foot. When did the foul occur? That becomes a question. Great play scenario. Love it. Love it. That's why this scenario itself is more rich to me than the satisfaction of a crowd, an unruly crowd, getting their comeuppance with a exhortation that they must shut up, you want to officiate, etc. Right? Obviously, that feels good at some level, but to me, the play scenario is much more important. Does the subsequent contact after the arm contact rise to the level of intentional on this play? It's crazy. Crazy. I had something similar in one of my games recently where it's like, the team, why are you fouling in that fashion? Why are you risking it? But in the end, that is what was ruled on the play. A shooting foul, 2-point attempt, technical foul for the assistant coach. A great play to look at, one that we would want to get right. There is absolutely no rules justification in this situation for putting time back on the clock. Our foul definitely occurred so close to the horn that the timer could not stop the clock in time. Many officials will insist that time must be put on the clock in this situation because the foul occurred before the horn. Therefore, there must be time. NFHS rules would suggest that is an incorrect ruling. But in these end-of-game situations, we want to get plays right. We're going to need to work together as a crew to come up with an adjudication on a play such as this. And as the season comes to a close and the playoffs get closer, we're going to have to potentially make decisions like this in really critical moments of games. That's why it's great to see plays on video so we can sharpen our saw and be prepared for all of the things in these situations. All right, at the start of the show, we had that play. You know that one. You made a ruling. You put it in the comments. Let's look back at play number 1. All right, player goes up. The ball clearly contacts the backboard. The defensive player contacts the ball. Is this goaltending? Basket interference? No call correct. Was there a subsequent foul on the play? Does the fact that the ball was contacted negate the contact on our airborne shooter? What was your ruling on this play? Let's look at all of the things. Wow. Okay, so first of all, right, we're in great position as a crew. Lead pulls up a little bit, but our center is in fantastic position, sees the whole play, right? The ruling is no call on the possible goaltending or basket interference. Hopefully, high school basketball coaches see this play and learn something, right? We are all fans of basketball. We watch basketball. We watch high school basketball, obviously, but we watch collegiate basketball. We watch NBA basketball. At the collegiate and NBA level, once the ball contacts the backboard, it is by rule considered to be on its downward flight. And so when the ball is contacted after contacting the backboard, it is goaltending by rule. Unfortunately, that does not exist at the high school level. That is not a thing. Contacting the backboard is not a factor at all in determining whether this is goaltending. Right? In order to have goaltending, we have to have a try, be on its downward flight, and have a chance to go in. Right? Is this ball, when it is contacted, on its downward flight? Let's look at that to start our analysis of the play. Right? The ball is released and then contacts the backboard and is immediately contacted. It is not on its downward flight. It does not carry with it the collegiate and NBA restriction that once it contacts, it is to be considered on its downward flight. It has to be judged on its merits. This is not a goaltending violation by rule. And since it was not over the basket in the cylinder, the imaginary cylinder with the ring as its base, it's not basket interference. This is not a violation by the defensive player in this instance. Now, let's look at the contact on our airborne shooter. Does that contact displace the shooter, cause them to go to the floor? Oftentimes in this situation, let's take a look. And if the player did go to the floor, who would have the primary responsibility for a whistle on that play? Our lead official is making a judgment about that contact. That is their call. The player is contacted, the displacement causes them to move, and they land on 2 feet and then go to the floor. No call is the ruling. Would you put a whistle on a play like this? You would certainly have merit, right? This is an airborne shooter, must be allowed to land, etc. Does the contact displace them? Does it knock them off balance, etc.? There is obviously movement of the body related to the contact. Player lands on both feet and goes to the floor. A foul certainly could be ruled in this situation, but no call was the ruling on the play, right? The key takeaway, though, is on the goaltending portion and just understanding that the National Federation of High School Basketball rules at the high school level, contacting the backboard has no bearing whatsoever. Whether the ball contacts the backboard has no bearing whatsoever on whether or not a goaltending violation shall be ruled. Different at other levels. If we understand that, we can move forward. All you coaches out there, this one's for you. This one's for you. But how about a bonus play? It's good. It's a long one. All right, state championship game from Mississippi a couple of years ago. I believe that our graphic on the clock is very accurate. Ball goes through 3.3. Player 12 requesting a timeout. Center official recognizes the coach requesting a timeout. Subsequently, they put 3 seconds on. Length of the court. Clock doesn't start early. That's excellent. Player jumps. Were they on the floor when they released the throw? Is this a 3-point try for goal to win it or just a 2? All of the things, right? Rule the 3, score the goal, right? To me, this is a great scenario, right? One that we want, of course, to be a state final, last second, right? We want all of our skills to prepare us for these moments so that we get plays right. This is a high pressure situation, one that we need to anticipate what's going to happen, etc. What would we want in this situation to recognize, right? To me, that's what really the sort of the takeaway is on this play. This crew handled it as they did. They put time back on the clock. We don't see what's going on with the trail official here. Or the new lead after the scored goal. I have no qualms about the way this play was adjudicated in any way, shape, or form. What I would say is when I look at this, what would I want to do as the new trail after the scored goal? What would I want to do as the center official throughout both plays, etc.? And what habits and fundamentals would I want to display? We know that, first of all, we know that this is a tie game, right? We're looking for high certainty in our calls, but if blue scores here, what do we expect? What would we anticipate in that situation? Have we thought that through in advance? Or do we have habits and fundamentals that have us looking at the right things at the right time in this situation? And this is a high pressure situation. The gym explodes with energy on the made goal, etc. You know, it could take us off our game just a moment. So what do we have? Let's take a look. Our crew's in great shape. Player rises up. Trail has an open look. Our center is looking at the play as well. This is the game. The game is right here, right? Ball goes in. What does our lead look at? What does our center look at? Center appears to be looking here across the floor. We've got a player here requesting a timeout. Does our trail recognize that? Is our center looking for the expected timeout by the opponent? This is what, right? We'd want a head turn, right? The lead in this situation could take a glance down the court. The center should absolutely expect the timeout. If the lead is not, they should be aware of this player. We'd want all of those things. Play goes forward. Let's move ahead. The crew gets together. They come up with it. Let's see what the actual situation should have been. Ball goes through here. We're thinking about all of the things. Of course, we have ball at the disposal, behavior by players, etc. But if we're aware of the situation, is one team has just gone up. The white team needs to score. They need to do something. The coach is going to request a timeout almost always in this situation. We certainly want to be aware of that. That's a key takeaway, number one. It comes through with 3.3. There's no recognition. Then there is, right, with 0.5 on the clock, etc. The crew makes a determination. What information they use to do that, that's all well and good. Now, on the subsequent play, let's move ahead. Right? Our center official in this situation, right? So these situations where we're going to go the length of the court for a last-second shot are challenging, or they can be challenging. Where's our crew? Our trail has to be with the ball administering the throw-in. Our lead in this situation would most likely be on the other end line, and our center is in the middle. Well, what are we looking for, right? As soon as this ball is released, our center, I think, has just got to be on their horse 100% to get into the front court, because that's where the game is going to be, right? Habits and fundamentals. Our lead is in great position. Will you please play? Oy, oy, oy. Great position. Does this player release the throw prior to contacting the floor? Oh, it's super close. If it's super close, we want high certainty in this situation. I think no call is the correct call. If this went to video review, maybe there's, but a human error here, definitely. But what we don't end up with is a look at the feet of our three-point shooter, right? And that's sort of like where I would be kicking myself, is I need to be in position to see that, right? We are straight lined. Obviously, this is going to determine, this is a game-deciding decision. Are they definitely behind? Are they definitely not? If I was trail in this situation, I want to be, once that ball was released, I'm busting again. I need to get to the front court, if only, right, to provide information about whether I saw a look at the toes in this situation, right? So, super exciting, high pressure environment, crew makes decisions, etc. The game ends in dramatic fashion. Super exciting, but when I see plays like this, I'm looking at habits and fundamentals, and if I was in this situation, what would I want to do? What do I need to be in position to see? How can I contribute any information at all, etc. But super exciting, and hopefully a situation that viewers of 5 Play Friday find themselves in that state final, in the final seconds, of a super exciting game. Hey, I appreciate you joining us today for 5 Play Friday. The request, if you would, doing all of the things, the liking and the subscribing, and get the notifies so you don't miss out on any of our live streams. We live stream every Wednesday and Friday during the basketball season. And as we like to do, allow me a moment to thank our tremendous show supporters who help fuel the broadcast. David Kaiser, Randy Wilson, Jeff Pappas, Chuck Ratliff, and Warren Layton. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show? I will put a link down in the show notes, and you know I'm going to put one up above, as I always do. Tremendous. We've got it. Additional video content. It's available here. Make a choice. Choose that one. Choose that one. Make your ruling. Put it in the comments below. And have a great one. Take care, everybody.